Okay, hello everybody again. One more time. I am Suzanne. Okay, hello everybody
I can hear myself 'cause I
again.
have
Twitch on. I apologize for that. Hey everybody, hi. I'm Suzanne. We're here with the wonderful dev team from Roll20. Say hi everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Roll20CON.
Guys, thanks so much for sticking with us and for tuning in and watching the live games going on our Twitch channel here during Roll20CON. I want to go around and do a little bit of a spotlight during this segment so we can hear from our wonderful devs about some of the stuff they're really excited about on Roll20 and also some particular new things that are going to be coming down the line in the future. So first, I want to go around and I'll prompt you as we go for you all to introduce yourself, because some of you the community already knows really well, some of you are relatively new faces, and everyone wants to get to know you. So starting with Steve.
Hey, everybody. I'm Steve K. I'm Roll20's lead developer.
All right. That is accurate. Kristen.
Hi, I'm Kristen. I am the Quality Assurance Manager.
Jeff, tell us who you are.
Hi, I'm Jeff, and I am a junior developer for Roll20.
Yeah, and Justin.
Hello, I am Justin. I was brought on a couple months ago for UI UX, doing accessibility and improvements for the front end.
Excellent. And yeah, we want to show you guys a little bit about some cool things in Roll20, and I think we're really just going to dive right in. Steve, I think you were going to start with your presentation. Right?
Yes. So I want to talk about something that's been a passion project for me pretty much from the day I was hired. It was a project I wanted to work on, and about a little over a year and a half ago, we were able to start making it a reality, and that's the Roll20 Compendium. For me personally, running my games, especially anything that involves a D20, has a tremendous amount of prep work, and looking up rules in kind of rules heavier games, Pathfinder, 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons is a pain in the butt, and so is prepping the monsters and getting them integrated and prepped for all the cool tools and bells and whistles that Roll20 offers. So we really were able to push forward with this with the Pathfinder OGL and when the 5e OGL dropped. And if you're not familiar with what it is, it's all of the OGL rules for those two rule systems, with hopefully more rule systems joining us soon. And one of the incredibly powerful pieces of it is that you can search for anything in the rules on the drop of a hat inside the app or outside of the app. So for example, we have a whole bunch of pre-prepared lists. If you could scroll down, Suzanne, and show them, we have spells by name, by their levels, by pretty much anything. And then even cooler than that, there's a whole other layer of functionality that I don't think most people know about. And that is that you can create your own custom lists by using what's right now a fairly arcane set of search strings. And I just wanted to show you what those are right now and then explain what we're doing to make it easier for you to use them. So, Suzanne, do you think you could switch to showing them a search string that has a filter and a group by?
I can
and basically,
Steve. I've got that right here.
Oh, that's handy.
So like I prepared 10 minutes ago.
So what this is doing is it allows you to, from the advanced search options, you can filter by any of the data elements in the compendium. So if we're talking about spells, that could be the range of the spell, the damage type of the spell, the school of the spell. It doesn't matter what the data elements are. You can filter to only see the ones that you want in ranges that you want, and then you could have them broken out by level, broken them out by school. Monsters, you could have, I need a third, level CR3 swamp monster, and you could have those broken out for you. So it's an incredibly powerful tool that we have not so far given you guys very good tools at using. And the challenge that we were facing was it would be real easy to just hard code things like spells or monsters for Dungeons and Dragons if we were only going to do it once specifically for a type of system. But at Roll20, we're very committed to being system agnostic. We needed to come up with a system that was going to work for any rule set, you know, whether you're playing a rules light system, a story driven system, or something with a little bit, you know, more rules, more crunch, longer lists of things that you need to look up. And so I'm really excited because our next major push is trying to bring these tools to you guys, is to do a complete overhaul in this compendium interface to make it so you guys can get at these lists and build them yourselves in a way that is much, much more accessible. And then if you don't know, switching to in-app, the compendium, it has a whole bunch of in-app features, stuff that, you know, ties it directly to the virtual tabletop. I mean, and the flashiest and most useful of those being that you can just, you know, search a monster. Like if you search goblin, and you can just grab it and click it and drag it onto the virtual tabletop. It will add the token. It will add the goblin character sheet into your journal, and you're ready to roll. So once you have your encounter prepped, this makes creating all of the fiddly bits, entering, you know, stuff into Roll20, it takes all of that away. It's a lifesaver for me as a GM. It cuts hours off of my prep time every month, and is one of the features I'm personally proudest about that we were able to bring into Roll20. And then even inside the character sheets themselves, you can do things like drag items directly onto characters, spells from this, you know, from the compendium into your spell book, and it automatically adds them, fills in all the roles, all of the buttons, everything you need. You just click on it and it happens at that point. So I love the compendium. I hope you guys try it out, fiddle with it, and fall in love with it as much as I have.
Yeah, you can do a whole lot.
So I think Kristen's next on the list.
Yeah, Kristen, I think you wanted to tell us a little bit about cool stuff that GMs can do with rollable tables.
Yes. Suzanne, if you go to the collections section on the sidebar. So if you're not aware, rollable tables are a way to create like a loot table or, you know, wild spells. But so if you look at that random cipher rollable table, it lists like this is for the cipher system. And you know, you could roll off this and it would let you know what sort of cipher you could find. And this is like the basics of what you can do with a rollable table. If you were to go, Suzanne, to the token shapeshifters page.
Yes. This page right here.
These tokens on here are actually are their own rollable tables. They're you can add graphics. So say we have a cluster of orc warriors. The token is linked to a character sheet, but the thing is, maybe I want to vary it up. If I right click on the like any one of these orc warrior tokens and choose multi-sided, choose side, and then I can vary it between a bunch of orc templates that I added to the rollable table earlier. There's a druid here too, so I mean the orcs and being able to change their images to give it a little bit of variety in your army, that's great for NPCs. But if you're playing a PC who's a druid and changes their shape a lot, you can use the rollable table to change your shape without having to, you know, have multiple sheets with multiple tokens assigned to it.
No big deal, just a hawk now. The other thing that I have experimented with rollable tables is not so much with tokens, but you'll see if we
go to the Strange page.
Yes.
This is something from one of our marketplace modules. This is from the Strange, the Dark Spiral, and the Strange is much more theater of the mind, but I'm very much a visual person, so I love having something visual. But instead of just having static pages and like handouts, like showing who you're talking to, I decided to use rollable tables to change the backdrop. So Suzanne, if you go to the map and background, you'll be able to change the portrait on the left side. It's also a rollable token. So if you choose the side, you'll be able to swap between the characters. You can also, the backdrop is also a rollable table. So you can choose like whether you're in the estate or you're in one of the various different places on Earth. I believe this is the Earth version of this rollable table.
All right.
So
I didn't know this was here, guys, and I'm really jazzed.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite things you can do in Roll20 is being able to have a drawable that changes on the fly. It's super cool.
I've done this with a couple of my other very theater of the mind sort of games. I could also see this being very useful for hiding traps. So instead of having like separate token images on the GM layer, you might have the trap just on the background layer, and as soon as it's uncovered, you just switch it to the trap side of the image. Yeah, it's a very powerful tool that just is just hiding, ready to be used.
Yeah, awesome.
Very cool.
Awesome.
How much prep time does that take? Just wondering.
It depends on like how much of a like how like really specific you want to be.
Yeah. How ambitious.
And how ambitious, yeah.
Like most elements of prep time.
Right.
Very true.
It is a rabbit hole in which one can never find the bottom.
Like when it comes to the druid forms, that's like really dead simple. It's just you create a rollable table, and then while your art library is open, you just drag what images you want in the rollable table. For like splash screens and stuff that I'm doing on the tabletop, it might do a little bit of planning from like a Photoshop or a GIMP sort of level, but I don't think it's that complicated.
Nice. That's really exciting stuff, and I'll be I'm seeing chat getting kind of stoked about it, so it makes me pretty happy.
Well, so speaking of theater of the mind, I know Justin wanted to talk a bit in that avenue.
Yeah, theater of the mind tends to be my preferred way of GMing. So I like to really play up atmosphere, and I get very psychological with my players, and I make them feel the stress that their characters are going through by using the music, the jukebox that is incorporated. So if you flip over to the theater of the mind page, and then toggle on all of the plays that are in that playlist.
All right, here we go, guys.
You can do a very complicated multi-play stack of audio files to really enhance the mood and get that atmosphere that you're really looking for, adjusting the sliders and getting the right volume set going. And then based on the sound cues, you can start doing ad-libbing and stuff that goes in with it. And you can set these up. Yeah, you can set these up with different things. So if you don't want it to be raining, you just turn off the rain things. And this goes very well into providing that stress of, like, you're running through a jungle, you're trying to get in front of this storm to get to the next village in time. If you don't make it in front of the storm, it's going to slow you down and make everything a lot more difficult. You hear thunder and crashing, and oh no, that wasn't actually lightning. It was a dinosaur or a dragon or something coming through the woods after you. All these sounds really up that theater of the mind ante.
I'm really glad that I turned them all on at the same time.
Yes.
You have to get the ambient experience.
So that's actually one of the features of the jukebox is that you can set up the jukebox playlist to either play all the tracks at the same time. So they all start simultaneously. You can have them all continue to loop that way. You could have them play in order. You could have them play randomly. So like if you just want a whole laundry list of battle music going, you know, you can have it bouncing around so that your players don't get tired of it. But at the same time, if you have like that one soundscape that you've built, just like Justin did right here, you can turn it all on with the click of a single button.
Yeah, and you can organize these sounds into their respective folders or playlists. Like this one is titled Rainy Forest. You do multiples of these, and as you're switching through scenes, like Kristen just illustrated, you can switch through your playlists as well. Yeah.
Well, now I'm pretty sure I'm either in a war-torn land or a stormy forest or all of the above.
It's the same jungle, just giants are going through, kicking over trees.
Yeah, and dinosaurs.
Yeah. Depending on what you turn on, turn off, the timing of them, you could actually, if you're a very time-restricted game, you could set up playlists with different cues in them. That way, you know when a certain track ends and the next one begins, you're moving on to the next spot, regardless of where the players are in it. You like trigger the next encounter or whatever for like wave combat or whatnot.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Which again, very theater of the mind enabled, which also lends into the battle grid in a way.
A personal favorite tool of mine is using music in that way, especially maybe themes or tracks that I'm familiar with. And I know around the 2.5 minute mark, all of a sudden there's a drop in the, you know, in the musical themes, and all of a sudden the music escalates, and I know that's when the thing's happening.
Yeah.
So it's good for pacing a scene using the jukebox.
Very much so.
A great way to scare the Jesus out of your horror game group.
Yeah.
As we know, biggest thing about horror games is just that the music is freaking you out all the time.
So now that we're clearly in a jungle encounter, I think Jeff is going to talk to us about the initiative tracker.
Nice.
Yeah. So I think that whether you're doing theater of the mind or not, the turn tracker I think is a really good way to keep track of things if you're trying to make sure you have people maybe taking their own turns rather than all at once. So if we pull up the turn tracker and go to the track some turns page,
yes.
We can show some of the cool features that it can do. The main one is that you can roll initiative directly from the character sheet and have it automatically populate on the turn order. And to do that, all you have to do is just select the token and then roll the initiative.
There we go. Oops, hold on, the wrong layer. Sorry, guys. Da-na-na-na. There we go. Okay.
And you don't have to necessarily be using the 5th edition character sheet to do that. You also find pretty simple instructions on the wiki to do any kind of roll. We'll add to the tracker. You just add tracker essentially to the end of your roll in brackets. And then once you have everyone added, you can sort the selections by number and scroll through them pretty easily using the arrow keys.
Every single time I forget what descending and ascending means.
Yeah.
So if you're me, you might have to do it twice. But otherwise,
but
it is an incredibly useful. It is always a useful
but
tool.
no more than
no more than twice, and you can indeed go in turn order.
Yeah, and one of the cool things with this is, you know, it's pretty simple to descend through turns there, but also you can add custom items, which have all sorts of uses, but the main one that I like is for maybe you were buffing an ally, but it only lasts for a minute. You can add a custom item to the turn tracker, call it, let's say haste, if you wanted to haste an ally, and put a round calculation on it. So -1. Let's say it lasts for 10 rounds. We want to calculate -1 so that every round it goes down by 1.
So Suzanne, hit the blue button and open up, and you'll have the ability to add a custom item with a custom calculation.
Nice.
Yeah, so put a label in as
just -1 for.
Yep, -1. And then once it's added, you want to manually put in the duration. So let's say it's 10 rounds. So you click the 0 next to haste, put 10.
Okay.
And then as you cycle through the turn tracker, it will decrement every time as you go. And then once it's at 0, you know when it's done.
And that's good for just keeping track of just how many rounds the combat's lasted. So if you start it on round 1, it'll go up every time round gets back to the top of the initiative. It'll increment again, which is super useful for things like, say, the escalation die in 13th Age. There's just so many things that pretty much the vast majority of systems out there have turn-based initiative and care about how long things last from turn to turn. Yeah. And this takes people having to remember that, a lot of that bookkeeping off of people's plates, and anything that the GM can do to get off his plate so that he has one less thing to think about instead of the story, I think is a big win.
Nice. That's pretty awesome. Thanks, Jeff.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Well, kids, we've shown you some cool things. It's been real.
Heck yeah.
I really appreciate learning some things. I honestly just learned how to do that haste tracker now. So, as you guys did too. So there's always new things, even though I'm a pretty big power user of Roll20 just because of doing a lot of stuff with module creation. I still constantly learn new stuff all the time. So often when I'm GMing a game, and that's fun.
Can I plug one more thing?
Absolutely, yes.
So tomorrow, as what I did last year, and I'm going to try and keep as a tradition, I run a charity game for you guys, for Roll20 fans. So if you would like to play a game with me tomorrow, there is a forum post on the Roll20 forums. All you have to do is drop your name saying that you want to play with me 2 o'clock Pacific tomorrow. Come around. I hope to see your face.
And in case we haven't said it quite enough times yet, just a reminder that our charity sponsor for Roll20CON is Cybersmile. They help prevent cyberbullying, and they provide lots of support systems and other kinds of resources and education and research to better understand cyberbullying, to help combat it, and to support people who have been affected by it. So if you're interested in donating to Cybersmile, the information is in chat because I just put it there. You can also do things like buy our Teespring shirt that we had made for Roll20CON with a cool luck dragon going across, and all proceeds from that will go directly to Cybersmile. And you can also just donate directly to them, and in either case you will get the Roll20CON Exclusive Art Pack for free because we like you and we appreciate you. So stay tuned. Up next we will be having something. Hold on a second, everything has left my brain. Up next we're going to have a game of Blaze in the Dark, which is GM'd by our very own GM in residence, Adam Coble. He's going to be joined by Andrew, Commuting Crow, Blue Jay, and Elf, many of whom you probably know from Roll20 Presents. So please stay tuned, have a great time, and have more games during Roll20CON. Thanks everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.